Hello and welcome everyone to the Virtual Solstice podcast number 4. Today, I'm your host, as usual, King Khada. You can find me over on Twitch and everywhere else with the same at username. Then we have our second host, the Cuddly Anna.
Hello. You can find me on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram at the Cuddly.
Yep, and then also we have Trevor as our guest, or Trevor Hockey, as he's more known. And if you care to introduce yourself, Trevor.
Yeah, I'm Trevor Hockey on Twitch. I mostly just do play video games in my spare time because I ref in the winter, so I don't really have much time to stream. But yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, all right. At least you are true to your username, aren't you, sir?
It's very true.
Yes.
Very true.
So for today's episode, we got a couple things on the agenda. What I first wanted to kind of talk about and kind of to introduce today's topic is with the release of Greece. It kind of sounds like the country. I'm trying to say it in the way that wouldn't butcher it, but it's Gris. So this game came out about, as of this recording, about like a week ago. It's another one of those kind of like journey-ish artistic games that kind of puts you like through, it's nothing with words, kind of similar to like Limbo, but instead of being horror, it's just like feel good, like relaxing type of game. There was something similar that was released quite a few years ago. It was on the PS4, and it's literally just called Journey, but where you're going through like a desert area as like a hooded figure. So the theme of this game with Greece, it's kind of similar, but you're a girl and you're going through kind of this imaginative world, and it does bring up a lot of cool artistic talent as you're restoring the world. And this is, there is singing in the trailer, so this isn't a spoiler, but you do sing at some point. It's got a beautiful kind of soundtrack.
Is it a sequel
to
Journey?
It is not a sequel to Journey. No, it's a completely different experience.
Is it made by the same people?
No. At least I don't think so. I could be fact-checked on that one. But I don't think it is, because this was a... I'm not sure if it's out on other platforms. I just got it on PC when it came out. But I wanted to talk about this one.
I'm looking at getting it on the Switch.
They do ports like a fair amount of things over on the Switch, like Hollow Knight.
It's already on there.
Is it? Oh, okay, perfect.
Uh-huh.
Okay, then there we go. It's already on the Switch. Fantastic. But yeah, what I wanted to talk about that one is first talk about what you guys think of the game, because I had a full playthrough, and I want to talk about it a little bit without spoiling too much. While I think neither of you have played it, right?
I've watched you play it. That's about it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, you haven't done anything with it, right?
Mm-mm. I've tried to avoid it because I want to play it myself.
Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about what the different perspectives here is, and then go into like other, like the same genre of games, because I think that's a really kind of interesting topic. But so first, Anna, without knowing much, do you have any thoughts on the game?
I think it's really pretty.
I think it's probably the best thing that could be said. It's just, oh my God, Ubu looks really pretty.
Don't at me like this.
What about you, Trevor? You've had the mild experience.
What was that?
You've had a mild experience just watching me play it. What do you think of it?
It's very artsy. It has a very artsy feel to it, if you know what I mean by that.
Mm-hmm.
That's really all I get from it. That's not all I get from it, but that's like the biggest feel I get from it.
Yeah, well then, for me, that at least has completed the game. Without spoiling the end, it is kind of a short experience, 3 to 4 hours. But I do really love games that come out that are like Greece. Because I think it's really nice to see, more indie developers sitting down, you have a core mechanic, you have an idea, and just really like indulging on your passion, because games that come out like Re and like Journey, and Limbo and Inside, even though they're like, in kind of the horror genre, but still in that aspect of being really artistic and really open with it, I think is like amazing. And even though it's kind of like a short experience, because a lot of people, they want to listen to it and find out which games they want to play and experience themselves and make sure that it's worth their money. For a lot of people, like 3 to 4 hours in the world that we have now, where you can get a free to play game and put in thousands of hours in, is not value enough. But for me, as someone who doesn't have like a ton of time, where you work full time and you're doing other things, like supporting games that have such a passion like this, I think is pretty amazing and something that should be kept going and encouraged, because we don't see that many of them, at least kind of like in the main eye of like what's being advertised or what's like on the top page. Like, we don't see many of these examples.
Yeah.
So I just think it's kind of important to just kind of put awareness on this game, and for anyone that has not played it, I do encourage you to play it yourself. And if you don't have the money, like I said, some people just don't have too much to invest. There's definitely like a lot of playthroughs out there that's definitely worth your time. And then going into a little bit into like other games, like have any of you played anything in the similar vein, or like what's the closest kind of artistic game that you might have played?
Night in the Woods.
Night in the Woods.
I don't think I've played anything like that ever.
Ever?
Probably not. No.
Oh man, Trevor.
I know.
I mean, I know you play AAA games, but boy, you gotta expand your your horizon a little bit.
No, I want to play them. It's just I don't really have time, and just like you, I'd love to play. I might actually play it now that we're talking about it. So, considering it's only like a 4-hour game, you said?
Yeah, 3 to 4 hours. I was going slow, so I'd say 3 hours. I mean, I only got like sort of stuck in one puzzle. It's not too difficult. But about Night in the Woods, Anna, what do you want to say? Do you want to talk a little bit about Night in the Woods?
I don't really know what to say about it without like spoiling the whole game. I mean, it's a gorgeous game. It has an amazing storyline, and it's only 4 parts. Each part is about an hour long, except for the 4th one. That one's closer to about 2 hours, and it's just a gorgeous story. You're a college student that has left school and come back to their hometown, and just odd things are going on around town. And by the end of the game, you pretty much figure out what's going on in town, and yeah, it makes you think, and that's one thing that I really like.
Okay, and that's like a very fair, spoiler-free assessment, because I've played through like half the game and then finished like by watching someone play it, which was kind of really weird. Pardon me. But yeah, I kind of get like the same thing, and that one's more, I guess, like story heavy.
Very, very much.
So that's why, like, I mean, it's probably the closest thing, because with Green Journey, it's like there's still that type of game, but it's with 0 dialogue, and that's something kind of an art itself. But still, like Night in the Woods is a good another like example of being along the vein of that type of game.
Yeah, I've never played a game exactly like that, but Night in the Woods is the closest I've gotten to it, and it's one of my favorite games so far. I've played it twice already, and I just got it earlier this year.
Wow, yeah, that's a lot of commitment. I really can't say that.
It's a really good game.
Yeah. All right. Well, does anyone have any other kind of opinions on artistic games before we move on to the next topic?
Nope.
Nope.
All right. Okay. So, next thing that I wanted to talk about is because as of this recording, we're recording basically like right before Christmas. It is the holiday time. It is Christmas time, and I think we're gonna have a few different opinions on this, but that's why I wanted to kind of bring it up. Because Christmas time means two things, you know, in terms of like the gaming industry. Okay.
Okay.
Because we're not going like just like the regular stuff. Cause that can go so many other places, but
Yeah.
you know, the first one would be the winter sales. And what I wanted to kind of touch on is, you know, do any of you plan on getting a ton of games during the winter sale?
I never can because I never have the money.
Oh no.
Like I was talking earlier before stream, but I kind of wanted to save it for the stream. You know, I was curious, like Jurassic World Evolution, I might spend some money on. I don't know. Some really good deals out there on some games.
Yeah, what are some other ones? Because I didn't get a chance to like look at them, but like just in general, you know, these game sales are very good. like
Monster Hunter World is on sale right now.
Stardew Valley is on sale on Steam.
Yes,
oh yeah,
that too. Borderlands,
and that's already an affordable game.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's a pretty cheap game the way it is. I think it was like $11 is what I saw or something like that.
Yep.
Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. If you've never played that, it's $15 for everything.
For all the
which
Borderlands
is
games.
Crazy. Yeah. The Middle Earth games are all on sale for pretty cheap. 70% off. So they're like $18.
Yeah, that's one of the series that I wanted to play on our channel as well, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Right? Same here.
Yeah, because Nemesis system is kind of something unique to them that we could even touch on, but I don't have any expertise on it until you actually get to play it. But so
Dark Souls is on sale, 75% off. It's $15.
But one thing to kind of put into into the table with these sales is, do you think it's like a good thing to put like so many things or so many games on sale, like during a large period?
Yeah, I do, especially this time of year.
Yeah, because I think I'm on the same boat there as well. But you know, it's kind of putting like everything or throwing back a little bit to about like developers versus, you know, like the publishers and how they're pricing the games. You know, Steam is very famous for doing all these sales, while they give like developers like 50-50 on the revenue. And you know, while I still think it's like very good to make it more accessible, I definitely feel like a lot more money should be pumped into, you know, developers rather than the publishers.
Yeah.
Because that's what you get, like kind of bad quality, is when you have a lot of the people in the publisher side. And you know, we've seen this countless time where, you know, a lot of indie devs where they're trying to get their name out there, and if they don't get any kind of like initial success, then it's, you know, kind of another like dead passion that doesn't go its way. So I definitely think it's a good thing to get more numbers out there. Just glad Discord is doing something on their own way. And yeah, I don't know what else. Do you guys have any thoughts on the winter sales before we go into other Christmas topics?
No, not really. I think it's a really cool thing because most games nowadays are, you know, on average $50 to $60 or more. And the one nice thing about these sales is it opens up those games to people who don't have $50 to $60+ to just drop on games.
Yeah, that
And
one's true.
I don't know. I really like it.
Yeah. Then on the other topics, do you guys think the Christmas time, or in the holidays in general, do you think it's good for, aside from sales, like good for the game industry, or do you know any impact that it kind of brings into it?
What do you mean by that?
Because I'm trying to think also in my perspective from having worked retail.
Oof.
It was really funny sometimes to see what would happen, because there was, and this wasn't during specifically Christmas time, but when EA had released, it was Star Wars Battlefront 2. You would see these shelves of literally
The first time or
the first time when it got released from discs.
Okay.
You'd see literally everything like else being sold out on the shelves, and then just seeing just an entire row of Battlefront 2 that nobody would buy. But in trying to think of like in terms of more like general of what it causes, like everyone's more willing to spend money around this time, which is
Oh yeah.
which is definitely a good and a bad thing in its own kind of respect there. But I do think it's interesting that there's still quite a lot that happens in person during this time. Like you see, we've had a steady increase of online gaming and digital game purchases over the last few years. It's just been on a steady incline for forever. But I think it's like around this time do you get to see like the rush of people still going to the store. And what would be your bet on the percentage that amount of people are like aunts and uncles and other older family members trying to buy something for someone else? I'm gonna guess like 50.
I was gonna guess like 60%. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because I don't think, like, do you have anyone in our generation or near our age that has gone to a video game store?
Recently?
Yes.
No. I haven't. I haven't bought a physical copy of a game in Witcher 3, I think was the last one I bought.
Witcher 3? Yeah. I think the last one that I bought was Resident Evil 6 for the Xbox. That was like, I don't even know, 4 years ago? More?
Witcher 3 I think came out in 2015, right? Or 2014.
No, Witcher was 20... No, I think it was the end of 2014. But still, like, yeah, it was like around that time. Wow.
I've bought physical copies of games over the last few years, mainly for the 3DS so that I could have like multiple Animal Crossing towns and stuff like that, because you can only buy one digital copy of those. And because of my habits with the 3DS, the first 4 games that I got on the Switch, I got physical copies, but I got all those for Christmas and my birthday last year, so ever since then I've just been getting digital downloads. It's so much easier that way.
So, about the... Because I think you brought up with the digital downloads, they only allow you to do one. It kind of brings up back the Pokemon stuff that I just... It still boggles my mind that you can like buy 2 to switch over your other Pokemon from the other game to have in your game.
Mm-hmm.
It's just so needlessly complicated. I don't know. I honestly think that's more of a marketing scheme than anything, because they could have easily put that into one game.
Yeah, that's exactly why they do it.
Nintendo, I love you, but at the same time, stop.
Why?
Just stop. Just hold the horses.
They want your moolah.
Yeah.
All of it.
Unfortunately, because with the online, I was looking forward when they did the paid online for it to actually be quality. Except, first week of Smash release. Yeah, online is completely terrible. So it's gotten better.
I have a feeling they're gonna work on it though.
Yeah, well, they better, because I'm like, if I'm paying like for a year,
Well, I
I
mean-
better be able to play with my friends.
I mean, look at GTA 5 when it first came out. How awful online was. I mean, it was unplayable for the first month it was out, and now it's like it's the best-selling game of almost all time. It's made billions of dollars
Really?
just off of online. Oh yeah, billions of dollars.
Like before Fortnite, it was GTA. Really? Wow.
Yeah.
That seems like a silent money machine for me, because I heard about a lot of GTA 5 like on its heyday, but I always stayed off of it because for me getting online, it's like this shit takes like 5 minutes to load. And then you get I don't
Yes.
even know how many like playtime with your friends, and it's like, dude, I'd rather like play something else than walk around so that my friend can show like which hooker he bought and how his apartment's doing with the new rug.
They've added so much content to GTA Online, to be honest. Like, they have heists now. They have, like, you can basically run a crack house.
Oh,
Wait, is that
Yeah.
why you can be like you can literally be Walter in Breaking Bad?
I don't know the answer to that question.
You don't know? Okay, well you're the expert here, at least on that topic. I don't know. I'm out of the loop for that.
same.
I mean, I don't
my
play
o-
much.
My only experience, I think is the word, with GTA Online was my friend's birthday party that I went to my senior year. So this is like right at 2 years ago now. 2 years ago today. I'm over at his house and I have this splitting headache and I fall asleep and I wake up to everybody screaming, Carry On My Wayward Son, because it was playing in the radio on GTA Online. That's my
Nice.
only experience with it though.
Nice.
So do you love or hate that song now?
I have conflicted feelings about it.
Conflict.
I love the song. It's nostalgic. It's in Supernatural, which is one of my favorite shows. But then whenever I hear it, I'm just like, wow, my head hurts again. I wonder why.
That's the same experience, or almost the same experience that I had with Saints Row 3 with its radio in the car, because beforehand I think I never really cared for Kanye West, but as soon as I heard Power while riding that car and throwing infinite Molotovs at people across the street, I just learned to really like the song, okay?
Yeah.
I can respect that.
And it's the same with Animal by Mike Snow. That was also a pretty good one, because you're just riding down the fast car lanes in Saints Row 3. Good time, guys. Good times. So, speaking of nostalgia, because now I want to know, what's the most nostalgic game for you?
Animal Crossing, hands down.
And is that how old were you when you played your first Animal Crossing?
I wasn't okay. This is a long time ago.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't allowed to play like video games there for a while, like when I was a kid. So I had to have been about maybe 8, 9,
Oh,
and
that's
I've been
pretty
playing
late.
ever since. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, because I
Yeah.
started when I was 2 at a computer.
Yeah, same.
Heck. I mean, like when I was really little, I used to play the Super Nintendo with my parents, but it wasn't very often. It was very few and far between.
You never played Pajama Sam?
Mm-mm.
Missed out. That's okay. So Animal Crossing. I don't know, which one was it?
City Folk was my first one, but
Okay.
then after I got extremely into that one, I got Wild World for the Nintendo DS. And then when New Leaf came out on the 3DS, I went out, bought a 3DS and the game. And the only reason I bought that console is because of that game.
So then, no wonder you're super excited for the next Animal Crossing, huh?
Oh, I'm extremely excited because it has been 5 years and I am ready for a new one. And it's on my favorite console, the Switch. Like, of course I'm excited.
Yeah, I think the experience that I had with my most nostalgic game is Banjo-Kazooie. And that was for the
Interesting.
Nintendo 64. Yeah, so a little bit of background story for Banjo-Kazooie, because there's Banjo-Kazooie, which was in 1998, I believe, and then Banjo-Tooie came out the year after in 1999, or it might be 1999 to 2000. I might get just a 1 year wrong, but either way, it was the first one, then the second with the sequel, and the sequel just had like even more like interchangeable levels. You know, it's all about just collecting all the things. It's a 3D puzzle platformer. But for a long while, they had a plan from the Nintendo 64 where you would get, like from getting the Banjo-Tooie, the second game, you do certain things and get keys to then go back to the first game and unlock like literal Easter eggs. They were like question mark eggs. That you lock in certain places that they had open or developed into the game, but you couldn't activate unless you had like a Game Shark to be like, oh, here's the area that was in the code, but they didn't add it. And so I like as a kid, this was like when the internet was like first around. Okay, like Google still had, I don't know, it's like very barren. I don't know how to explain it. Like if anyone remembers back then, it was really barren when Google's still out. So me as like, I don't know, it must have been let's see, it was about 2000 that I was looking at this stuff. So I was like 5 years old, and I was like going into internet, just like going like, what happened with the sequel of Banjo-Kazooie? And just trying to find like all that out, like going into forums and like people, like, well, this picture from this place, from this game, like going back and forth just to find out what it was, until like, because Rare hadn't officially stated that it was a failure, like a hardware failure from the Nintendo 64. And I still get like so much nostalgia from looking back at the game and being like, man, those secrets are never going to be unveiled because of a hardware problem, and I'm so sad. But then at least, similar to what's happening with Kingdom Hearts and them getting finally a sequel after 11 years, is what happened with Banjo-Kazooie when they released, I think it was in 2010 or 11, when they did Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts for the Xbox. I was just so happy and disappointed at the same time. It was full blown like, this is a good game and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't a true Banjo-Kazooie game because it had vehicles and like building creativity and shit. Like, it was still good. I had a ton of fun. It was like, I just wanted to collect all the things.
Me.
So and they literally, in their style of humor, it's hilarious. So when they start you off, they're really like, okay, here's all the things you could collect, but you're like fat because you just stayed there for like 10 years and you couldn't do it all until they magically transported you into the world and you had to use vehicles. But like, yo, that's all I wanted to do. Give me more worlds to collect. But yeah, so that was my experience. But Trevor, what's your most nostalgic game?
Oh, I have a whole list of nostalgic games, but holy crap!
Just try to pick like, I don't know, maybe the first one that came into mind were just like, oh, this one.
I'd probably say Call of Duty 2. That's what really got me into video games.
Okay.
I know, very basic, but...
Yeah, very basic, but you gotta tell us about your experience, dude. How come?
Oh, I don't... I mean, that's when I first got my 360. I went to Best Buy or whatever, and well, you know, I saw it and I was like, oh my god, these graphics are amazing. And I just had to have it. And of course, nowadays it's not trash, but it's, you know, it's old. And what was that, 2005 maybe?
I mean, can you
So it
believe
was like 10.
Some people said that about Tetris when it first came out? Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, go on.
It's just that's probably the game I played most online. Like the first game I played online video games. So, like, you know, there was Call of Duty 4, of course, which is really big, but Call of Duty 2 is where I really started playing online video games. Now I don't even play online, so much.
Yeah, how things change, right?
Yeah, right?
All right, well, we touched on nostalgia. I think the next topic, this is more something I was looking into today, and it goes on the MMOs, because first off, before I go into specifically in detail, have you guys ever played MMOs?
No.
Not a big fan.
Okay, so you haven't even delved into it, because I've been like, or I've always enjoyed the idea of an MMO, like, you know, this one grandiose place with so many things happening, so many characters, so many stories and things to do. But, you know, a lot of the times when I kept trying to go find a new one, because you can always think about World of Warcraft, but
Right.
even that, when you look at it, is just like, okay, so I get that the world kind of is set to be that way, but it never feels that way. And that's just because there's so many other factors that I found that are missing, and the main one is always like that good combat. You know, it's always been like a lot of you know, that you press tab and you fire your, you know, eventually when you're in late game, like super strong spells and all of that. And I can never put my mind around that to, you know, put into work, because it's always thousands of hours, of course, into enjoying the experience. But there were a few that managed to do that in the past for me. It's been Terra, Black Desert Online, and Blade and Soul. They all had kind of a similar, where they had a good gameplay and combat mechanic, where I was able to like enjoy my time. And the main thing that attracted me to playing MMOs was like finding a new good friend, and then just like, you know, taking a weekend or something, and then just, you know, like that's all you do. You just get on and you play for like those 16 hours for, you know, the both the days. And going through that journey together, I feel like is the same in comparison as if you were going to go on a road trip with a friend. Like, that's what I equivalent to. Like, I still bring back, and like some people, like I had gone through an MMO like on Terra with a friend, and, you know, then he had to go to college and didn't play games and went a completely separate area in life, where here I am, you know, streaming because I still love gaming so much. Whereas I still think back on time, I'm like, man, like that was a fucking like good week, you know? Like, it could bring like tears back. I'm like, oh, it was such a good time. But yeah, no, I just think MMOs have a definite big allure to them, which is I'm kind of bringing into the topic is actually Black Desert. Black Desert has by far been kind of the most like content-wise MMO to have both in gameplay and just things to do. Like, you can literally, you know, do anything that you would in life, like fishing and cooking, all types of professions, as a completely optional side thing, you know, and building houses, and actually have like an in-depth system for all of that, while you can still just go out and do your looting quests and kill people and talk to NPCs. But I bring it back because they had a bad like first year launch, because it's a Korean made game, and they released, through an American publisher. So it had a bad like first year, then it was really good for a while. Then there was like an update that made it pay to win, and now they finally updated it again after I think now it's been about 3 years, or almost 3 years. And it's Black Desert Remastered. But so far there's only been like good feedback on the game. And while there's a lot of like expensive cosmetic stuff, I mean most games nowadays with all the continuous updates and Fortnite loot boxes, etc., it's really not that big of a deal anymore, because it is all optional.
Right.
And I just think it's a really interesting game that might warrant a look back with its remasters. So I don't know all the details yet, but I kind of wanted to bring that up, and see if you guys had heard about any of it, or if you had any interest or opinions on it.
Well, you had brought up about how, like, what was the game? Terra,
yeah.
Is that what you were talking about?
Yeah.
How that you look back in your life and you had, friends where you could just spend 16 hours playing that game with, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have that exact same feeling with, like, Call of Duty Zombies and Destiny now, newer, So I just thought that was interesting that you found that with an MMO, and I found that with a
shooter.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is kind of interesting, because I've never had that from any type of genre. Like, I can look back at a shooter and like, yeah, those were fun times, but I don't have that sense of nostalgia as strong, like, multiplayer wise, because single player is like a totally different thing that we just talked about. But
right.
With friends, like, I think what did it for me is that long journey. MMO, they usually have a very big world, built in that you want to explore, not only in just like quests and killing, but some actually have mechanics of exploration, like find a whole map and all that and get rewards. So doing that process kind of properly, at least like with maybe one or two people, because I mean some people can make a huge group work, but that's like, usually kind of teeter off and do your own thing when you have a large group.
Right.
But if you have like just one or two people, like that small group trying to do that together, like that's why I got that feeling where it's like, you're really like bonding and putting in the time, and that's what's kind of getting me like back on there to try to like to want to try out, is to have anyone, especially with the ease of streaming, is getting more people in there with the journey, because while I don't have like the time usually as much to like literally spend an entire weekend doing that, I do have like dedicated chunks of time where boy, would that be worth it, yeah, and that's something to really think about. And have you had anything, maybe not an MMO, but have you had something like that in multiplayer wise?
Does Webkins count? That sounds so stupid, but
Webkins?
That was like the first. Yes.
Was that like the Neopets but for online?
Oh my god, Neopets.
Yeah, it's like Neopets, but you have the plushies, and it's like the first multiplayer thing that I ever really played. I got my first one when I was 9, and it's how I kept in contact with a lot of my friends from school and made my first internet friends, because I was homeschooled for 2 years. And that was like my first experience with online multiplayer things, I guess.
I mean, that's fine. That was your experience. I'm just, it's like saying, back in my day, Club Penguin.
Back in my day.
Yeah, Club Penguin. Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Those were the days. I don't know.
I had that that feeling with Destiny that you were talking about, that you could just spend hours and hours and hours playing with like one or two people. I think that's why Destiny is working so well, is because you have a group of 2 or 3 people. You can just spend 10 plus hours.
Yeah. I actually had now that you mention it, I almost forgot, because I had something similar during my first month of streaming, because I think a lot of people, when they're trying to get started, like the first 1, 2, up to 3 months, I was lucky to kind of grow a little bit more during like the 3rd month, but like up to even the 2nd month, I was doing a lot of Destiny 2, and mostly just because I kind of got into it during Forsaken, and I probably got into it during the best time, honestly, because it was me, our good moderator for the channel, Ben, and an actually coworker named Ivan. It's a different Ivan than my team, but just in the same company. We were the main Destiny 2 squad that we'd get on every day, and while we didn't even do any like big raids, like we ended off trying to do them, but failing, because we're not good. We were just there for a good time, okay?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Still was a very great time to just adventure together, and do that. You think back at the squad, and while I can't go back and like, okay, now I'm just gonna do a bunch of Destiny 2. I still go back every now and again, and we're like, yeah, like hitting up the squad again, and be like, as if it were like a retired, army squadron, just being like, all right, we're back for like one more ride before we come back
right.
1 month or 2 back again. And that's just I think I'm going on such a long tangent on this, because I feel like that's the essence of what gaming should be about,
Especially today.
Yeah, like you get even as much as I have my own hatred for Fortnite, but using that as like kind of the more in my mind devil's advocate like side of the coin, even though there's a lot of the pop culture and other the bullshit thrown into the game that I don't enjoy, like the fact that there can be like some people coming on that was like, oh man, like, and actually have like a good time. I'm not talking about like toxic groups, but like like real people that have made a squad or a good group of friends through a game like that. I think it's something super special, because there's even been tales where I've had on the server that I'm affiliated on the 421st. There's been people that I know there. Like we're gaming with some people on for them is Star Trek Online for years. Just doing online, never knowing, and then you go to they went to like one gaming convention together, and like those 2 or 3 days they had like the best time in their life. They're just like as if they were like best buddies, and it's just the distance that kills it.
Right.
It's really rare to find someone so similar to you, like in the same distance, and that's what I love, that gaming brings people together like that, and it's a really wonderful thing that should be supported and probably even more talked about. That's why we're here today. Kind of go back on that lane and kind of reminisce and try to remember that in the busyness of things, of trying to maybe enjoy your time, or talking to other people, other groups of friends, trying to find new people or old people, that like the experience of gaming together can be a very wholesome and amazing thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Does anyone have any other thoughts before I kind of move on to our next topic?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, just not in agreement is like in a room of senators. Yep. Yes, quite. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quite
very
agree.
proper. Yeah. Okay.
Pretentiously sips cup of tea.
Do you even have a cup of tea?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear it.
No.
No.
What? You're not gonna.
No ASMR. Oh, come
No
on.
ASMR today.
But how will we know?
You just need to believe
Oh
me.
my god.
Just believe, Kevin. Believe.
I was really hoping she'd be like, well. Alright.
Never.
Yeah, okay, fine. I guess it's my thing, but I don't have coffee. I just have water.
Same.
Yeah, okay. So the next thing would be just another one. We usually end with these. Today might be a somewhat shorter-ish episode, but talking about upcoming titles. So I don't know too many. I was kind of hoping you guys have more. Like I know we kind of touched on
Animal Crossing.
You might have more info. Now
I have a list. I have a huge list.
Oh well, then you know what, Anna, just shoot it off with Animal Crossing. Then Trevor can go next. What are some games that you're excited about, and why?
Animal Crossing.
And why?
Because it's the next one in the series and we've been waiting for it for like 5 years. I'm hoping that we get more news on it sometime soon, because the only thing that we know right now is that it is a main title in the series and it's coming out sometime in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we know.
So let me say that the same thing is happening with Bayonetta 3 for me. Oh my god, that's like the most exciting thing. Like, I know I was super excited for Smash, and I'm having a blast with Smash Ultimate. But even though I'm bad at those fighting games, Bayonetta 3! Okay, but that's also probably because Platinum, they're my second favorite developers of all time. Like, Supergiant Games is number 1, Platinum is number 2. They just make such quality, flourish kind of pretty fighter games that it's, you just can't get enough.
Mm.
But yeah, Trevor, you can put in your piece with your list.
Obsidian, the people who first made Fallout.
The
first Fallout games, they have a new game coming out. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like The Outer Worlds. Is that right?
Yeah, it's like the space Fallout thing ish.
It looks dope though. It looks really good.
Yeah. No, I actually God, I don't know if you remember the name, but that one I had heard of. Is it supposed to come out in 2019?
I'm thinking, yeah, that's what it I just looked it up. Yeah, it looks like 2019.
Yeah, because that's another one that might, blow up just like Skyrim and be like the next cool thing. And yeah, that one I'm also pretty excited for. Because that might be like a good, sit down hours, just enjoy a cup of coffee and fucking go on a space journey.
Space
dude.
adventure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another game I'm looking forward to, of course, is Kingdom Hearts 3. Even though I don't have a PlayStation 4 right now.
Is it only going to release for the PS4 for right now?
Oh, no, it is coming out on Xbox. Shit, I might get it.
So it's Xbox and PS4?
Yeah.
Damn it, I might have to get it on the PS4.
I want to get a PS4.
Yeah, because I have a Switch and a PS4 mostly for like these exclusives, but like it usually takes a lot of energy for me. Like the last game that I played on the PS4, and I absolutely love the experience, was God of War. Like, but I'm waiting on it was that and Ratchet and Clank. It's like whenever they release the next Ratchet and Clank, the next God of War, because they both were set up for a sequel. Like, you better.
God, I love Ratchet and Clank. Oh, such a good game.
Yeah. So I'm excited for this next, gen update for both those two games. Like the first one's already good, so I'm hoping that they were released and that they're in development. I don't think if we've ever heard of a follow up from them, but yeah, that was a definite thing. Yeah. What's the next one, Trevor?
For me, I'm really excited for Crackdown 3.
Crackdown 3?
The first two.
That's getting a sequel?
Yeah. What?
Because Crackdown 2, that's the one where you collect a bunch of things and you're kind of like a super soldier, like around the city. Oh my god, they actually have a sequel.
I know, they've been saying that they're going to have a sequel since like 2015. It comes out on February 15th.
Ooh.
Wow. No, that's actually... like I feel like we need more sandbox games like that. That's exciting.
The first Crackdown game was actually like released. The reason people got it was because it came with the beta for Halo 3, and it ended up the Crackdown game ended up getting like was one of the biggest games of the year, if I remember right.
Yeah, back then, yeah.
Except for 2007 was diluted with a lot of good games, so.
Yeah, I think just getting the word that a third one is coming, I think is very exciting. You might need to pass the list to me because everyone you're like, wow, really? There's a sequel? It's coming 2019? Boy, 2019 is gonna be the year, guys. It's gonna be the year.
I put a link on our Discord thing.
Oh, fantastic. But yeah, what's the next one?
Far Cry New Dawn.
Far Cry.
Do you know anything about that?
No, I mean every year there's a Far Cry became the new Assassin's Creed to me, where it's like, oh, yeah, every year is a new one, and it's gonna be like pretty much almost the same thing, and it's kind of cool, but I don't know, they're definitely not worth getting on release. I played a few of them like on sale, after a while, and they're pretty decent, but again, it doesn't change much.
I mean, Far Cry 5 I loved. It was awesome. And then this New Dawn one takes place in a post-apocalyptic world. So that's kind of different from what they normally do in that
Fallout
game.
76 better? Question mark? So I don't know, maybe that'll be good, but for me, like, the Far Cry 2 is still the best Far Cry game.
Far Cry 3, I love Far Cry 3.
It was 2 for me. And I played through all of 3, but 2 was the one where you had malaria and everything, and introduced like all that, and
See, I guess 3 was the first one I played, and then I played 2 afterwards, and it just didn't. I mean, you know how games,
if you
newer
don't play,
games,
yeah,
right, yeah,
you get a higher standard, but if you play them beforehand, yeah, I get it.
The next game is Metro Exodus, which I'm extremely excited for because I love the Metro series.
Oh yeah. Okay, that one I do. Yeah, they're still very good. It's very Russian as well. I think I need to play that just on my channel because of all the, Russian themes that we have.
Russian talking we do on the channel. Yes.
Yes. Oh, I can't do that.
What do you mean you can't be a comrade?
Nope.
You don't like vodka? No vodka for you.
Come on, Ella. You should know how to drink.
No, I'm a minor.
In future, little babushka.
Babushka. Oh no. Where's Ben? Cue Ben.
Cue's Ben.
And I guess this future is pretty soon, actually. Hold up. Hold on.
Looks like clock. I
math.
can drink tomorrow. Yes. Very good, yes.
3 weeks.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, see, there you go. All right, well,
I needed to do some math.
Quick math.
The thing I'm most excited about with Metro Exodus, because I have the Xbox One X, and I saw like the trailer for it or whatever, or the gameplay of it, and it just looked jaw-dropping, like amazing, like the graphics and everything. So.
Oh, they even do more stuff in the fog. Oh yeah, dude. I actually, because I did get a new graphics card, I'm actually gonna maybe try to crank up that fog machine from a previous game. Because there's some stuff on PC that gets released. It's like experimental like features, and they on purpose like just take up a ton of your GPU and everything and your processes. That it's like, okay, only for like the highest end PCs because it's in beta, it's not optimized. So Metro had one where it was like the fog. It's like, oh, this like super thick immersive fog. And then they had with the Tomb Raider games like the hair tessellation, like super cool Lara Croft hair that would tank your system.
Oh crap! Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of those things. All right, what's next on the list?
Anthem. I mean, I don't know much about Anthem.
Anthem, yes, no. Oh my god, dude, there's so many games. I hate it. I hope they.
This is all like most of these games are coming out in February. Just so you know.
February
I listed.
Well,
Yeah.
fuck my shit, fam. I need to get going on like playing all these new games.
You need a new job. You need a new job.
Need a
That's what you
shit.
need.
Nah, I wish, dude. Like, I'm just gonna have to like get no sleep and play through all these games. Cause yeah, no, I definitely want to try Anthem because, again, it's one of those like it could be like the next like cool thing that like competes with Warframe and Destiny in that kind of world.
For sure.
And I'm never gonna like give up Warframe, but like I'm still excited. I want new mechanics. I want cool shit to do. And Anthem's definitely on my list. Oh, yes. All right.
So next,
Yeah.
I didn't play much of the Division, but Division 2 comes out on March 11th or March 15th. It looks like.
Yeah, Division 2 is
So-
definitely something to maybe delve in. I played quite a bit of the Division 1. Yeah, fun times. I just, again, like in an era where there's so many like hero shooters and like other abilities, it was just like, yeah, it's nice, but can I jump on top of that building? Oh, that's a no. No, thank you.
Can I do a rocket car in GTA? What?
Yeah, exactly. So if the Division 2 is gonna be competing, I need better stuff.
Right.
Although,
Um,
last thing I'll say about the Division, best thing about that game is shooting the tires. The sound they make and the realistic like pop is just amazing. Okay, I know it's a very weird thing.
Do that again.
I don't know what I did. I can't do, but it is still like a stupid but very good thing about a game.
Was it this?
No,
That was, yeah.
give me no. Yeah, the pop sound. Okay, next.
Game
Next.
I'm extremely, probably the biggest game I'm excited for is Rage 2.
Really?
Really. It looks awesome. They actually turn it into a really good. It looks. Trailers and everything look amazing.
Yeah, I'm also kind of happy that they're like a lot of these have been solid games, but my thing was that it was just kind of a generic shooter with Rage 1.
The first one was very generic.
Yeah, like I had fun, but it was like okay, cool. It was like a mix of Mad Max and Borderlands.
It lacked a lot of depth.
A lot of pizzazz. Yeah.
It looked like a big tech demo.
Yeah.
And Rage 2 is like, think of the wasteland with pink and neon colors. They're actually doing a Twitter campaign, like on like the 12 days of. They're calling it 12 Days of Ragemas, and they're like posting like videos on Twitter about on the 12th day of Ragemas, my true love gave it to me, or whatever.
Okay. All right. I can
it's
respect
really-
that. I can respect that.
It's really funny. It's hilarious.
All right. Do we have any more exciting titles?
Game I'm extremely excited for too is Crash Team Racing.
God damn it! Every time I'm gonna jump my chair, I'm like, yes. No, that game, because I saw it get remade. My cousin tagged me on Facebook about it. Like Crash Nitro Remake, I'm really excited for because it was better than Mario Kart for whatever reason.
Oh, I am 100% with you.
Like
on that.
I loved it so much more, and I don't know what it is because I haven't played like the old one for a while. But yeah, my God, like the old Crash was better than Mario Kart, and I had so much more fun with friends. And whatever it is, I'm excited. I'm excited for the relaunch.
Is it gonna
And-
come on the Switch?
And I don't know what NS is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's Crash, so probably.
Oh yeah, that's the Nintendo Switch. Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Oh wow, that's again Switch just surprising with all the titles because I would think that's more of like a PS4 exclusive, but hey, there we go.
Hey, Warframe's on the Switch now.
Yeah, no, true. But that one they were working with the for a
Man.
while to make it like playable because that's a whole different ball game.
Man, if it's gonna come on the Switch, I'll probably get it because I know a lot of my friends are excited for it.
Did any of you guys ever play Diddy Kong Racing?
No, that was like one of the few old ones that I missed.
That
Was
was
it
so
actually good?
good. It was really good. I loved that game.
Yeah. Wow.
That was like a Nintendo 64 game. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, see, Aqua's got me.
He's just saying that Diddy Kong Racing is so good. It's dated, but it's still amazing. Yeah, that might be one of throwing a nostalgia day or something. I don't know. All right, yeah. Is there any other? Because we're reaching the end of our time on the podcast. Is there any other big titles to mention before we start ending it off?
So I was a big fan of the Ace Combat 6 game that came out like 11 years ago, and now they're having a 7th one. So that looks pretty cool to me.
I had never even heard of that one.
Yep. That's why I said it looks interesting to me.
Does anybody else say do you even know what it is? No, I'm kidding. Okay, sorry.
Ooh.
All right. I think this is probably a good stopping point. If we missed anything, we can talk about it on the next one, because it will be like around New Year's when we're going to record it. So, yeah, thank you guys for participating on today's Virtual Solstice podcast. We'll be back as usual next Saturday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Otherwise, I've been King Khada. Again, you can find me King Khada on over at Twitch and all the other social medias like Instagram, Facebook, etc. Anna?
I'm the Cuddly on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm most active on Twitch and Twitter, though.
And Trevor?
Trevor Hockey on Twitch and Trevor Hockey on Twitter. I don't post much, but if I do, it's a lot of space stuff because I love Elon Musk. So, anyways.
Who doesn't?
It's like that classic commercial of like, well, I don't do this much, but when I do, it's about space. All right, well, thank you everyone for joining. I hope you enjoyed the episode. We're back next time, and we'll see you around. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.